already know. Hello and welcome to the Red Sports Cricket 360 post-match analysis, post-series analysis after the third T20, which was played in Dharamshala as well. Another whitewash, brown wash, whatever you want to call it, completely dominated by India. Funny stat, I had no idea that in terms of match streaks, India was tied with Afghanistan and Romania at 11. Now we have broken that. I had no idea Romanian team was that good. But good to see India, a lot of records from that perspective. Rohit Sharma, the most capped player, 125. What a successful run. Indian team obviously has had a great streak. Congratulations to the team. I have Jadidda with me as well. We've spoken about so many aspects, of the match. I think we're just talking about the fact that I guess today's match was a replica pretty much. It's been this very similar story, won it with so much ease. But let's zoom out and look at the series. From my perspective, from a batting, I mean, I'm just extremely impressed and pleased with Shreyas, 200 plus runs at a striker of 170 plus. I mean, without an average and all not outs. Jadeja came through very, very well. And overall, I'm happy that a lot of players got their chances. Even from a bowling perspective, I think Bhuvi's taken 3 overall. Everyone else has 2 or 1. So it seemed like probably things went according to plan in terms of giving people chances, testing out the middle order. Surya did well against West Indies. Shreyas has done well here. Jadip, overall, what's your feeling? What's your emotions about this whole series? I mean, clearly we won, but what are the pluses? What are the minuses? What do we look forward to as we proceed further?
I mean, we've done well, we won, but I'm not sure we've been tested. So unless we've been tested, these people who've done really well under the gun, under the pump, how they do will be see again. You have to fight likes with likes, and I think this Sri Lankan team is a depleted one. I think if they were here at full strength, then it would have been really a good series, but they're not, and they're missing some very key players. And unlike us, as I've been harping for the past couple of days, they don't have the backup we do because they're a small country. So having said that, yes, it's a very good win. Any win is good. It's international cricket, but tongue in cheek, this is not the most convincing series victory, or you will have in mind. You will know that okay, there was a lot that could have been better. I think the chances Sanju got to open today should have grabbed these chances. These are sort of chances you need to go out there and get it. And you've got an opposition where you don't have to get 200. If this was Australia, you have to get 200. Here, 160, 170 could win. There, for you to succeed is important. And again, that talk of consistency comes in. The fact that you got a 39 and then you get a 17 today, but where the big runs, and I'm sure they'll come because it's too good a play. But the India team will not wait for long. You look at the consistency of the Ayers and everybody else, and the Surya, the ones who are entrenched in the team. You look at their consistency, and it is everybody can bat on their good day. Everybody looks good, but it's just that how often do you do it is the important thing.
No,
At
well
this
said.
level, everybody's touch and go. Yeah, it's the person who does it more often gets it right, and he makes it
Yes,
his
no,
own.
absolutely. And let's probably again, we should celebrate, and I'm sure the upcoming South Africa series, the T20 series in June, probably will be a bit more of a difficult test, which is good, or probably augurs well before we go to England and then the World Cup eventually. But let's get a bit critical here. I mean, who are the players that you're obviously Sanju Samson? I'm guessing you're not that you may not maybe disappoint, but you always feel that there's more promise. Harshal Patel, again, did we kind of, in the final overs, obviously Sanaka, kudos to him. He's probably the biggest highlight for Sri Lanka in the series, apart from maybe Kumara or Asalanka. But overall, from the Indian camp, are there 2 or 3 names that you feel that, still have, if you were the selector, the management, that you were still not pleased with their performances?
It depends who I have. If I'm looking at KL and Rohit to open, Then Ishan Kishan is my backup opener. Then who's my three? It's Virat. Who's the backup for that? Who is three, four, five? Who are their backups? So that way, I'll have to. That's how you usually do a team. You have two openers and then one backup. You have a number three and a backup for them because number three is a very specialized position. Then you have four, five, and you have a couple of backups. Then you have six, seven. You have a couple of backups. Then you have 8, 9, 10, 11 spinners, fast bowlers, and you have backups for them. So that's how you make sure that your squad is full because it's a 20-member squad. Whatever happens, you can't have replacements, bubble, blah blah blah, everything that's going on. So you just can't pick anybody outside the who's part of the system. So it's very important for you to make sure that you've got all your bases covered. And any player injured, stroke, unwell, stroke, loss of form, there should be enough people to enough options in front of you to be able to compensate for that player missing out.
All right, I'm going to put you this, but tomorrow India goes into a World Cup. Let's say the game's in a couple of days. What's your primary 11? You've kind of given us a hint, but if you're going to start, what's your starting 11 for the first game?
I'll go with Rohit and KL, three Virat, four Iyer, five Surya, six Pant, seven Jadeja, eight Deepak Chahar, nine Bumrah, 10 Bhuvi, 11 Yajuvendra Chahal.
Very, very interesting. So you've obviously gone with Pant there. I'm interested to see the batting lineup, and Chahal finds a place as well. No, that probably. I mean, so clearly, even India in this series, we're not playing with our primary 11, but
But
good to see that some of the
yeah,
younger guys. Yes.
so outside this will be Deepak Huda, people like Ishan Kishan missing out, Venkatesh Iyer. These are all the replacements. So if there's a seaming track and we want to play a fast bowler extra, so then Venkatesh can come in. Because if Venkatesh is not bowling regularly, then he's competing with the Suryas and the Shreyashis as a batter. If he's
Yeah.
bowling, it's a different role. So once you're
So
not
from so
bowling,
from the
then it's tough.
so from the lineup that you just said, clearly seems like people like Thakur, Chahar, Venkatesh are fighting for that same all-rounderish spot. Because
No, I
I'm
think
guessing Venkatesh doesn't make the cut as a pure batsman, does he?
no. So Bumrah, Bhuvi, and either Shardul or Harshal stroke are my three fast bowlers in the team. And my two spinners
Okay,
are Jadeja and Chahal. Okay.
right.
Now the only reason I might be tempted to go with Deepak Chahar is because he's a better batsman than Harshal Patel,
Yeah, certainly.
and he's a better white ball bowler than Shardul Thakur. If it was red ball, I'll go with Shardul for the test match. But it's a white ball. I think Deepak is a better bowler. So I'll go with Deepak, and that gives me a bit of batting because I need my number 8 to bat as well. Then I have Bhuvi at 8 Shardul, 9 Bhuvi, 10 Bumrah, 11 Yuzvendra Chahal.
So Chahal
But there
finds a
are some
place
guys
ahead
who
of
will miss out, be very close to
Jadeja.
all the guys who are playing here. No, Jadeja is 7th.
Okay. Jadeja is fixed at seventh. Good to hear that he's a permanent guy there. Okay.
Yeah, because of the experience he does, because of what he brings to the table, because of the fact that he's catching, he's throwing, everything matters. When you're playing at that level, even your catching matters, your throwing matters, your fielding matters, your ability to take catches under pressure matters. Your batting he's still not at his best, but he will get there. That's the reason why he's been given a go, bat, because he's been off the game for a long time. If he was playing regularly, he probably wouldn't have been given this role. But right now, they want him to get his mojo back, and that's the reason why he's been put up, which is really good to see. Because you need to come and play at this level to be able to get that rhythm back. But this is my 11, and the only person I'll take a punt with is maybe Harshal instead of Deepak Char if Harshal is really bowling well. But to start off with, I'll go with Deepak Char, Bumrah, Bhuvi, and the two spinners.
Fair enough. We've got the
And my batting is
joint
solid
11th.
with the yeah my Yeah, my batting is also solid because I've got the two openers. I've got Virat at three. I've got Shreyas Iyer, the form of his life, at four. I've got Surya, who's my favorite player, at five. I've got Pant at six. I've got Jadeja at seven. And I've got Deepak Char at eight. So this beefed up. In T20, if you eight batters won't do it, 9, 10, 11 also won't. But that can be said. But in 50 overs, sometimes you look beyond that. In Test match cricket, in fact, in Ranji Trophy, I was having a chat with Arunal. He says all the teams who have the best seven, six, seven, eights are going to do well in Ranji Trophy, and that's so true. Every team that's doing well, the six, seven, eights are scoring runs because 1, 2, 3, 4 will score runs. Sometimes on green tops, 1, 2, 3, 4 will struggle. But when you're 70 for 4, do you have a 6, 7, 8 who can get you to 280? If you don't, then you get 190, 200. And that's the difference between winning and losing. So here also I'll go with Deepak Char because he can bowl with the new ball. He's getting better each day. And he has a lot of confidence. He's won an IPL. He's gone for a lot of money. So everything going for him. Harshal, at the end of the day, is still an IPL success, not an international success. So there's a difference between two. And where we are playing, what opposition, all will come into play. But I'll definitely
Fair
play
enough.
Jadeja and
Hopefully,
Chahal Chahal also I'll play because just of the guile he has, bigger boundaries, he'll be really good in those conditions.
fair enough. One tough question there because I've been seeing some chatter on Twitter around this. Now, this could be controversial, but Kohli, we've won some matches series without Kohli. Now, do you reckon that in the T20 format, obviously the man's average is probably one of the best out there, but in terms of current form, in terms of World Cup, is there any reason to play anyone else instead of Kohli at number three, number four? Or do you
No
still go
chance.
with Virat Kohli for sure? No chance. Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. 11 times out of 10.
Good to see
No,
that
no
confidence.
discussion.
Makes sense. Fair enough.
Because
And
Kohli is right now not at his best, which will happen when he play for so long, because it's happened to the best in the world, starting from A to Z. But even then, he's so good. And it's just a matter of time when he's again back in the loop, and then you know what he can do. So I can't even think of an Indian team in any version without Virat Kohli.
no, and that's. I mean, I kind of concur with that for two reasons. When you were talking about Sanju, you were talking about the fact that how consistently or how often can you, hit those scores. Also, when it's a lean patch, how bad is your lean patch? I mean, if a man is averaging more than 50 despite a lean patch across formats, I don't know. I mean, clearly, even his lean patch isn't lean enough. It's just that maybe his standards and the expectations that we fans have is of a very different nature.
Prantik, anything you do, it's about consistency. So if you play golf and if you hit a 9 to 3 feet, and Tiger also it's a 9 to 3 feet, he'll do it 90 times out of 100 or 80 times out of 100. I will do it 20 times out of 100. Okay? So if your forehand is really good in tennis, the cross court, Federer will do it 99 times out of 100. We will do it 21 times out of 100. So ultimately, his best and my best is both the same. But it's how often you do it. Okay. So the reason Rohit, Virat, they are so revered in KL now is because the consistency they have. Even Surya, if you see, first is the ease with which you play. That's his problem. Ease, difficult. I want somebody to be consistent and having a good strike rate. You can do it your way. Now, Surya, when we really get into the reason why he makes it, why is it, why can he make it look so easy? Then we say because of his range and whatever. That's we are getting into the nitty gritties of how he does it. But if you just want to be on the top of it, I said if I am the team director, I said I want a guy whose strike rate is about 130, 140, and he's consistent. How he does it is his problem. What he does is his problem. Because at the end of the day, it's the end result. So Sanju sometimes flatters to deceive because he looks so good, but he has to be as consistent as Shesh, as Surya. And then once he does that, these guys have to be as consistent as Virat and Rohit and KL.
Fair
That is
enough.
what
And
that is what keeps you that's what keeps you in the India team for 10, 12, 14 years. Because your
reminds me of a
bests are
quote.
always good. Yeah, yeah, please.
Reminds me of a quote of Alan Border. He says sometimes talent can be one's weakness and liability because everyone looks at the potential, but like they say, potential and performance have to kind of converge at some point in time. And let's quickly get on to the, we were chatting about catching. Venkatesh took some good catches today. I think overall India had some, even Sanju took a skyer. Clearly, especially in Dharamshala conditions where you explained to us that with the oxygen levels being different, it would be difficult. Clearly, some sort of practice, some sort of thinking has gone into that. Perhaps there's some technical glitch at Joydeep Das' place. He's obviously covering the Ranji Trophy in different venues. He's probably going to be back pretty soon. Yes. So Joydeep, welcome back. We were just talking about catching. You're happy with the way the Indian folks took the skiers?
If I know Rahul Dravid, he must have had a few extra sessions, and I think it's also the boys. I think in today's day and age, it's also the boys because they're playing in front of thousands of people, millions of people watching all over the world. I think there is a sense of taking responsibility, a reputation to protect over here. So I think it's up to the boys as well. And if Rahul is a hard task, he was very hard on him. I mean, he was, he would do everything. He would leave no stone unturned till the last day he played for India. His practice sessions, his catching, whatever his routine was, never changed. And I think he'll make sure that the boys are taking enough catches because at the end of the day, you drop catches against some of the bigger teams, some of the big opposition. You drop a Maxwell, you drop a, I don't know, an England player, a Ben Stokes or a Josh Butler or a Bairstow, he'll make you pay. He'll make you pay. So that's the reason why I can understand that half chance that is getting away, but there's no way you can drop sitters. And we did some in the last match. Good to see we got that sorted.
Awesome. I mean, we've spoken a lot about T20. I'll quickly sum it up. So obviously another series win for India, setting records, good confidence. Clearly, some players have made the most of it. Good to also see people like Avesh Khan make, I thought he had a good start today. Siraj bowled his heart out as well. This is the sort of momentum and rhythm we want. Of course, as Joydeep that we were discussing, this is not the best opponent, but hopefully South Africa and England, will give us a good fight because we want the team to kind of warm up, get prepared, and get set to peak at the right time during the World Cup. That's what ultimately will count for Rohit and his men. Well, enough of T20. We've covered a lot, but Janita, before we go, just some thoughts on what's the week looking like in terms of the Ranji circuit. What can we as fans look out for? Any specific matches? Any specific players? I mean, you've obviously mentioned about Head Patel. Karun Nair had a great one. You talked about the Kerala boys. What can we look forward to in the coming week?
Yeah, this is the we got a 3 day break and then we go into week three, which is the third game, and it's the third game where it's the last game in the group stage. And after this, out of the 38 teams, there'll be 30 teams. Their BCCI domestic calendar will be over. So there'll be only 8 teams that will wait for 2 months to play the quarterfinals, and there'll be one pre-quarterfinal in Kolkata from the 12th of March. But once that is over, then after IPL in June will be the quarters, semis, and finals of the Ranji Trophy. So it's very important for every team. Mumbai made a superb comeback today, considered the lead to Goa, came back and won it. Delhi lost a close one. So everybody's playing for position here in Rajkot. MP and Kerala are both on 13 points. They play each other. The winner takes it all over there. So that's plain and simple, fair and square in front of you. So this is also that time where you're playing for position. And when you play for position, you're also not leaving too much to be for you to do in the last game. A realistic chance, a 3 point. If you need 6 points, you need 6 points. But also these games are at neutral venues. So just because you will get, if you want 6 points, if the pitch doesn't help you on that regard, then you might not every pitch you can get 6 points. Okay, if you have two decent teams playing, two good teams playing, two good elite group A team playing on a good pitch, you will not get 6 points. So also depends where you are playing. A lot of the matches I've seen 577 for 7 declared. So those are not outright games unless see here 577 you're playing some of the newer teams, so they are 212 all out, 177 all out. But two big teams playing 577 for 9 declared will be replied with 487 for 8. So then the
Right.
outright is gone. So that's what I'm trying to say. So all depends, whether outright is possible. You just can't say we will take an outright. You have to see the pitch, you have to see the opposition, and then you can say whether you can get an outright or not. Because to get 20 wickets get 500 runs and then get 20 wickets in 4 days sometimes can be tough on a flat wicket.
No, absolutely. And hence, I guess, exciting times. Well, except apart from Bengal, which is the other team that you're supporting strongly this time?
Well, I'm not supporting strongly, but I think Karnataka is doing well. There are other teams all over which are doing well. MP is looking good. They have Chandrakant Pandit. He's won the Ranji Trophy and Irani Trophy as a player, and he's won it as a coach as well. When he went to Vidarbha, they won nothing. He has some extreme measures the way he does it. But at the end of the year, when everything is done, he leaves the trophy back at the state and says, "You keep this with you for a couple of months. I'll be back." So if there is a coach who's leaving the Ranji, winning the Ranji Trophy and the Irani Trophy for you, I don't care what measure he takes because he's delivering, and that's what he does. That's how good he is. He's left Vidarbha, then tottering a bit. He's come to MP, and MP were in between an okay side, and now they are grouped up in 2 games, and they are playing Kerala in the last game. And my money is on them. I think they're a very strong side, and he knows that formula, what is required
Yeah.
in domestic cricket. So I just feel that, yeah, these are the teams. Mumbai not out of it yet. They've made a great comeback now. Saurashtra and Mumbai are in the same group. So definitely either of the 41-time Ranji Trophy champions or the reigning champions will not be out of it.
Fantastic. I mean, there's just so much to play for. Hopefully, everyone keeps a lookout for this because that's the bedrock of Indian cricket. And, we've just seen some wonderful performances in the last couple of weeks from, both across batting, bowling. Well, hopefully, you guys have enjoyed our coverage. Keep a watch out because we're going to come back with an interesting show on domestic cricket pretty soon, as well as the Women's World Cup is starting. And Rev Sports has a fantastic panel to help cover that. And obviously, this will be a very early morning coverage, 6:30 a.m. or India time. So you guys may need to wake up early if you're going to watch those games. Obviously, the big India Park games coming up on March 6th as well. Lots to watch out. India's had a pretty interesting warm-up games, especially today was a pretty interesting game against South Africa. So do watch out. We've got to support our women folk. It's going to be a tough series. Pakistan has warmed up well. New Zealand, Australia are great, and England are obviously great sides. It's going to be a well-fought contest. So we're going to be there covering that. There'll be some domestic coverage, and obviously we are prepping ourselves for the IPL eventually as well. That's Joydip and me signing off from Cricket 360. Hopefully you've enjoyed. Have a good weekend, and Joydip, I'll see you soon again. Thank you so much for your time. Have a good rest.
Till next time.